Mr. Kearney, please stand up. You're walking on kind of thin ice. I'm going to review everything, and I'll come out with an order. But I take what Mr. Cosgrove has presented very seriously. I also take into account that there are certain First Amendment rights here as well. And then the issue is always, how far does the First Amendment take you, and when does it become intimidation of a witness? The word revenge, some of those other words that are on that tape are getting very, very close. So I'll take it all under advisement. Let me just see the lawyers at sidebar for a minute.
Okay, that's Aiden Kearney, also known as Turtleboy, the man who's really behind the Free Karen Read movement. It was him who sort of got everyone together, informed everyone about things he was finding in the paper, in the court papers, and really started this movement. And he's being prosecuted for witness intimidation. Those are the allegations. He was in court because prosecutors want to revoke his bond. They're saying that he is violating the conditions of that by threatening one of the investigators in the case, Tully. So I want to play for you some of what prosecutors said today during this hearing and some of what the defense said during this hearing, and then we'll talk about it.
No contact, direct or indirect, through third parties with any of the witnesses or victims in this case, and 2, stay 100 yards away from any victim's residence or place of work. Defendant to sense, bail warning read. What we have here, Your Honor, is the most extreme recent example of Mr. Kearney's behavior. And if I wanted to bring these to the court's attention, I could probably do it about 4 times a week. Constant defamation, for example, of Jennifer McCabe as a murderer, and he has described the others as murderers. And in general, he is aware and has remarked, I think this is another thing I brought to Your Honor's attention the last time, has remarked with satisfaction that the results of his broadcasts have made it difficult for these people to go out in public without being harassed.
Mr. Bradle, tell me about that word revenge, and how am I supposed to interpret that?
Judge, this is not a threat. This is not contact. This is satire. This is all protected. I am so sick of having to come before a court because of Norfolk County and talk about speech that Norfolk County doesn't like.
Argue to me, not to anybody else. Just tell me about that word revenge.
Why do we keep having to come back here? I don't know what it must be like to wake up on the wrong side of the First Amendment every day. This is protected speech, Your Honor, over and over again. The Supreme Court has spoken for decades and decades. Brandenburg, Watts, Chaplinsky, O'Brien v. Borowski, Welch. Judge, this is a waste of this court's time. This is intentional infliction of emotional distress on my client. He is not contacting a witness. He is not threatening a witness. He is talking about someone who has destroyed his life, Your Honor. He is allowed to lash out back. And the First Amendment grants every declarant this room to talk without fear, without the kind of fear that this county has inflicted on Mr. Kearney over and over and over again.
Okay, so if he's wishing something to happen to Tully, the investigator who's gone after him, is that a violation of his conditions of bond? Is that witness intimidation? Is that contacting a witness? What is it? Is it someone expressing their desires for what they hope would happen?
This gentleman is one of the best anti-heroes for civil rights and civil liberties that I can imagine. He is a disaster that is standing on the thin one leg that Mr. Bradle is talking about, freedom of speech, because the judge has got him. He is saying things that clearly and unabashedly violate the terms of his bond conditions.
What do you mean?
He is saying things that he knows or should know are going to induce the prohibited contact and conduct from his third-party listeners. Now, he gets to hide behind the First Amendment beautifully. He toes the line.
So you're saying he's inciting violence?
There's an interesting compromise. You don't get mad, you get even. If I were on the bench, I would not revoke his bond because that's subject to being appealed. What I would do is I'd find him in contempt and incarcerate him because he's in contempt of my court order. Don't get mad, get even.
No, but I think what happened is that he reset the court hearing for June, and so he just kind of put him out there and let him hang himself because he's going to continue to say things.
Right, but let's just go back historically. All those Supreme Court cases he's throwing out there, some of them involve speech that we don't like.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
It's like the KKK.
The content.
Right?
Correct.
And we cannot restrain citizens from speaking their thoughts, their opinions. If he's defaming someone, that's not even criminal. Like, the person he's defaming can take him to court and sue him civilly.
And exactly, you have the right to say lots of things, but you're also still accountable for the impact of your words. So you can have a freedom of speech that has been limited by another order.
Okay, wait.
Intimidation.
But now think about it this way. All these people that say all these bad things about our president, and then someone tries to take out the president, are you going to bring those people in too?
Lots
You
of people
can.
are trying, and you
Yeah,
can.
yes,
You
you can.
really?
You're
It's
inciting
here.
violence.
I haven't seen it.
It's here.
I haven't seen it.
It's here and now. It's intimidation.
They-
Whether or not...
Wait, who's he intimidating?
He's intimidating the detective.
When you watch the entirety of that hearing, you'll see that Mr. Bradel artfully acknowledges the fighting words that Turtleboy specifically avoids. Turtleboy is not dumb.
No, he was a teacher.
He's absolutely not dumb. He knows the line. He's researched the line. He's been told about the line. If he steps into certain words, such as those statutorily or common law defined as fighting words, totally different thing. He hasn't gone there. He said revenge, which is, as the judge noted, real close.
And the type of speech we're talking about here, which has become sort of the foundation of what Turtleboy and the Free Karen Read movement is, they believe the government has overstepped their bounds.
Absolutely.
They believe the government is not acting lawfully. So isn't the government skating on thin ice when they're being accused of wrongfully prosecuting someone, and then they're trying to shut down the people who are saying it out loud,
Yes,
and the people who are protesting
Are we going to talk about prosecutorial immunity? Because you can't sue them for basically anything.
Right.
It's, as I said, don't get mad, get even. The government has got to produce the evidence. The government is going to go after who they believe is wrong. Now, can they be stopped? Perhaps, but I think the judge is in a position where the detective has got to be protected as well, and he's being intimidated by Turtleboy, because Turtleboy is not talking to him. He's talking to the entire audience that he hopes is larger than life.
Which is inciting things, and we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, but I have a suspicion as the Karen Read trial goes on, more stuff's going to occur. Mark my words.
And when they get a free swing at Mr. Turtleboy, I don't know a judge in the nation that wouldn't swing for beyond the fences.
Right. All right.
Yogi Berra said, and ain't over till
Thank
it's
you
over.
so much, Daryl Cohen, Meg Strickler, Josh Schiff.